What is up, everyone? Welcome to the official episode 1 of Feel Good Edits, a series where I go back in time and grab some photos from my past, or maybe something that I'm working on now, and I just do a quick edit of it. This one actually is probably going to take me forever. So I'm going to jump into a photo edit from May of 2018, and we're gonna get pretty wild tonight. I am going to take a couple different photos, and I'm going to try to mash them up and layer some on top of each other and do something weird. So I've got 4 photos that I'm going to play with. This is the first one. So these photos are from a shoot from May of 2018 of a band called We Came as Romans. These are my 4 photos that I'm going to play with. I have no idea which ones I'm going to use yet. I've got this one of the bassist jumping up and down, and they had these like spider lights shooting out. These are all raw photos, by the way, so no edits done yet. Then we've got a vocalist doing a little point at the sky, and a little bit of crowd, some hands, some tats. Are those just coordinates? And then my 4th photo is this one of Kyle here, the kind of silhouette shot. So these are the ones that I'm going to play with. I'm going to spend less time color grading in this episode, more time in Photoshop playing around with dumb ideas. Jumping into these photos, I'm going to start by color grading probably this one because it seems like the most consistent lighting wise, and then I'll bring that same color grade to the other images that I'm working with. So I'm going to start here. First thing that I want to figure out is my white balance, and then I am going to start with color. I got to remember to scroll up further so you guys can actually see what I'm doing, because I couldn't see what I was doing my last one. Also, update, I got a MacBook, and the whole like everything being slightly different is driving me nuts. So I'm going to be like, it's going to be fun to try to watch me remember which direction zooms in. Like, which one of these zooms in? Okay, so I've got color grade for picture 1. I'm going to take this same color grade and try to match it on my other ones, and then I'm going to put them together and do some stuff that I don't know how to do in Photoshop, and then we'll go from there. So and I want just this silhouette because this is really going to be my starting point. And I'm going to take this silhouette and surround it with all those other elements that of the other photos that I have. So basically, my philosophy is take this picture and put a bunch of crap on it and see if it looks cool. So we'll see if that happens. So I'm pretty happy with how these look right now. They look. I would never put one of these photos out on its own. All I wanted to do was get a base. This one maybe. This one's pretty sick actually. Like if I crank the whites way up. That's a pretty nasty photo. I'd probably put that one out. I'm going to take these, I'm going to put them in Photoshop, and we're going to get weird with it. Okay, here we go. Photoshop time. Let's get funky. So I am going to start by doing, okay, Option is the equivalent of Alt. Command is Control. Mac stuff. So I made 2 layers. I'm going to hide one of them. Just making a backup layer because I'm about to screw this one up. So the first thing I want to do is I want to go to my filters, and I'm going to do a little bit of a radial blur on this photo, which is basically taking it, and you can blur it a couple different ways. I'm going to do like a spin blur because I want to add just a little bit of motion to it, make it look a little bit trippy. So why am I doing this? I don't know, guys. Why am I? I want to add a little bit of motion to my photo here. So I'm going to grab my eraser, take the hardness way down. My top layer is my layer that's not blurry. My bottom layer is my layer that is blurry. And what I want to do is I'm just going to zoom in here and I'm going to paint around them a little bit. So I'm erasing the layer that's not blurred. so that you can see the layer that is blurred underneath it a little bit. Alright, so once again I'm just erasing my clear, not blurred layer so that you can see the blurry layer underneath it. And I'm just making some stuff look kind of trippy. Alright, we feeling a little more consistent between these two? Yeah. Yeah, we are. We overlay these. Oh. Now we're talking. I don't know what that accent was, but now we're talking. So I've got a new layer in here. I brought in a different photo. So this is my photo of Kyle, blurred out, looking fancy. I brought in this one, which is a different photo, and I'm probably going to bring it up a little bit in size just because it looks a little small compared to my other one. Alright, I've got my layer underneath it, which works out really well because these lights are playing really well with each other. I like the way they look. And then I need to get this silhouette painted out properly. I think that matches. Close enough. We'll get it figured out. God, I've already been streaming for almost an hour. Is this what it's like for people who do this all the time? Alright, doing the same thing. Just grabbing another little cutout of our vocalist mask here. Turn my layers back on so I can see what I'm doing. Come up to my top layer. And this time I'm going to do inverse and delete. Pretty cool looking. Okay, we're getting there. I'm going to add a little bit of texture now, so I think I'm going to bring in like an overlay of some sort, toss it on top, like a little bit of a particle effect or something, just to give it some more texture, because even though we've got a whole lot going on with the Glocks, if you want to hear that track, Young X Comfort in the chat, let me put that on my other screen. Some unreleased music for you. Because I want kind of just like a dirty, dusty texture that I can bring in. Alright, so let me show you a quick look at what things looked like for our last final edit. So we have 3 images that I started with. I started with our silhouette image, the image of the crowd with their hands, and then this other image from me in the pit. And these I took and tried to color grade them so they were somewhat similar. Went through, got them looking good. Then I did a lot of layering in Photoshop, and I ended up the first time with this edit, which I'm happy with it. But it was a little weird with the crowd just inside his silhouette. I thought it kind of threw things off. It took me a long time to figure out what I wanted to do with that. And it wasn't until after I took the image and exported it and looked at it that I realized I wasn't a huge fan of it. So I ended up getting rid of the hands in his silhouette, and I just brought over more of that same image. So this is what I ended up with. Brought a little bit more noise down, put it in his silhouette, and I got that other light coming from his chest, which is pretty symbolic. I like that too. So it gives me the same kind of vibe. Out of that whole hour-and-a-half process of going through all the different images and trying to figure out what I wanted to do with them, this is where we ended up, and it's a pretty good spot, so I'm good with it. Thank you to everybody who stopped by to check out episode 1 of the show. I'll be putting these out weekly. I'm going to jump into a bunch of different areas of photography, a bunch of different photos in different styles that might not always be a concert photo. We might get into lifestyle stuff or something else. But I'm going to call that a wrap on episode 1. So stay tuned for more. Come check it out next week. Streams on Tuesday around 8. Video goes up on Friday. Photos go up on the weekend. Hope everybody has a great day, and we will see you next time.